my channel. So today we're gonna make a really fun DIY, and it's Pottery Barn inspired. I actually made a trip to the Pottery Barn this past week, and I spotted this gorgeous small flocked tree with this really pretty framed tree box, and it was over $100, and I almost purchased it, but as I was looking a little bit closer at it, I decided that I could probably make something very similar with supplies from the dollar store. I was in hopes of finding some of those dollar store mini Christmas trees. I've seen them before, however they were completely sold out at my Dollar. I did spot these wreaths, and as I was looking closer at the wreaths, I noticed that they come in two different sizes. There is an 18-inch and then there's also a 15-inch. Now they don't look like much as a wreath, but we are gonna turn a few of these dollar store wreaths into an amazing flocked mini Christmas tree with a framed base, and it's gonna look gorgeous. Okay, so as I was just saying, I purchased 3 of the 15-inch wreaths and 2 of the 18-inch wreaths from the Dollar Tree. I also found this garland, and it's a wire garland, and there's 15 feet, so I bought 2 of those. I also found 4 of these framed art pieces, and so I picked 4 of them up. They're a nice square design. I grabbed some more of the nautical rope, which I've used this in other DIYs. A really pretty red plaid bag that I love the colors of. It matches my decor for this year, which is like an Adirondack themed decor. I did also purchase 2 of the containers of the white acrylic paint. Now we're going to use this paint along with the fine snow that I've had from a previous project. This came from Hobby Lobby. It was 50% off, and it was actually $2.50, so a really good deal at Hobby Lobby for that. And this is going to be used to do the flocking on the Christmas tree. This little candle holder right here, this came from Dollar Tree. I actually am repurposing it because I used it in a previous DIY, but we're going to use this as kind of like a base for our Christmas tree. Also, you're going to need some scissors, a ruler, a nice thick paintbrush, and some wire snips, as well as some hot glue, which I have heating up over there. So these are the supplies I'm using, and let's get started with the project. So we are gonna start with our actual foliage portion of our Christmas tree. I'm gonna start with the 18-inch wreaths that we have right here. We're going to bend this wreath, and I'm gonna kind of take all of that greenery and kind of push it to one side so that just the metal portion of the wreath is on the back side. Squeeze that metal together, and again, pull all of the greenery to one side so that the metal is just on the back side, and you're gonna have like one long piece of greenery like this, and flatten it out so it's nice and straight. And we're gonna do this for both 18-inch wreaths, so we have 2 long pieces like this. We're also gonna repeat that step with 2 of the 15-inch wreaths. Right, so next we're gonna take our third 15-inch, and we are just going to take some wire snips, and we are going to just snip this in half. And then we're going to snip it in half again. Now we'll have 2 smaller pieces of our 15-inch wreath. Now we're gonna start assembling our tree. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our 2 long 18-inch pieces, and we're gonna put them flat side to flat side. So the side that has metal portion of the wreath that we flattened out, we're gonna just kind of lay those 2 together, and we're gonna take one of the branches from either side, and we're just gonna take that branch and wrap it around to kind of hold those 2 wreaths, those flattened out wreaths together. So we're gonna do it on one end, one in the middle, and then one on the top. Okay, so now we're gonna take our 15-inch piece, and we're gonna kind of do the same thing. We're gonna place it in the center. There's even space at the top and the bottom of the 18-inch piece, and we're gonna take another branch, and again just wrap it around. Take the bottom, take a branch, wrap it around, and the top. Take a piece at the top, wrap it around. All right, we're gonna flip that one over. So now we have the 18-inch piece in the center and a 15-inch piece on one side. And we're gonna take our other 15-inch piece, flat side, lay that in the center of the other piece. So now you can see it's thinner at the top, and we've got the two 15-inch pieces on either side. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we are going to take our other wreath that we snipped into two pieces. We're gonna take one of those pieces, and not at the very bottom, but about a third of the way up the tree. So you're gonna kind of move some of those branches to kind of make a spot. And I'm gonna take that that third wreath, and I'm going to use that wreath to wrap around. Now this is gonna be a little bit harder to bend because it is thicker wire. But I'm just wrapping it around just to create a little bit more of, to hold it together, make it a little bit thicker at the bottom. So you can see now I've got that piece wrapped around. And then about another third of the way up, make another opening, and we're gonna take our other piece that we clipped, and we're gonna wrap that around. You can kind of see we are now starting to have a little bit more of a Christmas tree shape. We're gonna fluff this out quite a bit, and we're gonna add some more greenery to this to make it even fuller. So now we're gonna start attaching this to our little base, which is gonna hold our tree upright. And this is like the bottom where we bent the large 18-inch wreath in half. And I've kind of bent all of the little branches up to kind of create this like little knob at the bottom, because this little knob is going to set down into that little tea light holder. And then we're going to take a couple of our branches that are closest to the wire sides, and we're going to just wrap a couple of those branches right around the wire siding. And we're going to do that all the way around. All right, so now we've got our little box that's holding the base of the tree, and we've got our tree, which is kind of sad looking at the moment because I haven't fluffed it out and I haven't added any extra greenery yet. So we're taking this 15 feet of garland. It's got a wire base, which you definitely want the wire base for this. You don't want the flimsy stuff. And I'm gonna take my wire snips and I'm gonna snip off about 1 foot sections. Now I have all of my shorter pieces cut out of my garland. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start filling in this, wrap it around. I'm gonna start at the bottom. I'm literally just going to wrap it around, and once I get to the other side, I am gonna twist those two pieces together, just like that, to create some extra branches. Added all of my garland pieces to my tree, and it's really created a nice full little tree. All right, so I'm gonna be making a flocking mixture using this acrylic white paint from the dollar store. We're gonna pour a good amount of this white paint into our plastic cup. Probably gonna use at least half of a container. Then we're gonna take our fine snow, and we're gonna add a good amount of snow, maybe about, fill up the cup about halfway with snow. So I'm gonna take a plastic spoon and I'm gonna mix to make like a textured flocking. So if it's too thick, we're just gonna add more paint. So your consistency should be somewhat thick, but thin enough where you can apply it to a paintbrush like this. We're just gonna take little clumps and we're gonna go ahead and start flocking all of our little branches. on our Christmas tree. I want to put it on the top of the branch so it's kind of just like fresh snow that landed on the branch itself. You can see I have gone ahead and finished flocking every branch that is on this tree, and I love this flocking because it's different than if you were to just take like a white spray paint. This has some like clumps of actual looking snow on it. Let this dry, and while this is drying, I am going to work on the framed box that our tree is going to sit in. Alright, so for our framed box, we're going to use these square picture frames. Pop the backs open, and you're going to take the little cardboard insert that is in these little signs out. We're just going to measure from the inside of this foam piece to the inside. And so I'm going to just cut it right down the edge. And I'll cut the bottom. I want to open this right up so I have a large flat piece to work with. All right, I went ahead and cut out my square piece of paper that came from the bags. I'm going to do this 4 times for 4 of the frames. I'm going to just lay this paper down in our glass frame, and we're going to use our backing and just kind of replace the back on the frame. So we're going to take some of our nautical rope here, and we are just going to kind of frame the inside edge all the way around. So I'm going to take my hot glue. I'm going to put right on the glass a little dab of hot glue in the corner. I'm going to stick my rope down in that. Do another little dab kind of in the center. Rope in it, and I'm gonna work all the way around the outside edge of my framed piece here. And so now we've got this really pretty rope border. We're gonna do like a crisscross piece of rope in the center to kind of give it a little bit more dimension, but I don't want the rope to overlap the other piece, so I'm gonna clip it right to the center. Go ahead and glue that down. So this is now what we have as a side piece to our box. I'm gonna go ahead and repeat this step 4 times. All right, so I have all 4 of my frames completed. So we're gonna go ahead and glue these frame pieces together to make a box, much like we've done the lantern project before. How I like to glue mine is I like to overlap. So one side will butt up against another side, and then this side will butt up against this side. And that's what I found to be the strongest when gluing my boxes together. I'm gonna go ahead and just put a few dabs of glue along the edge, the inside edge, and we're gonna stick that inside edge right up to another frame. And I'm just gonna hold that in place until it sets. And take our next frame and butt that one right up against it. So as you can see, here's my cute little framed box. And I love the effect that the rope gives on the outside of the box. So I'm actually gonna dress up this box just a little bit more. Since we live right on a ski mountain, I thought these little skis that I picked up from the Target dollar spot would be perfect on the front of this box. Okay, so my tree is completely dry of the flocking, and I did decide to pick up these little string lights. They're these little gold bulb string lights from the Dollar Tree. They're battery operated, and I put just a string of those on the tree. And I also grabbed another pick of these faux flowers, the faux poinsettias with a little bit of greenery, which I'm gonna stick in the tree as well, just to give it a little extra color. Alright, so here it is. I have it in my formal living room out on my little travel trunk that I have in here, and I just think it came out so cute. I'm really loving the Adirondack theme, and I'm so happy that I was able to make it and save a ton of money. So I hope you guys enjoyed this DIY. Stick around for more holiday DIYs to come.